Okay, something fun today. So you probably know the depth map tool in DaVinci Resolve, right? It's this thing. Now, most people use it to, for example, make the background blurrier or to color grade parts of an image, like just the foreground or just the background. And that's all super useful, of course, but I'm gonna show you how to use it in a more fun way to create this effect.
Listen up, got a PSA when I come through, y'all just move. Got a whole lot of
So it's that like pulse or heartbeat effect, and it's super easy to do. I say that in all my tutorials, don't I? But this time, I promise it's true. It's really true. Here we go. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna need to create this effect is a video clip, right? But not just any video, because the more depth your video has, the better it will look. So, I mean, you can also use a video of someone standing against a wall, for example, but it's never gonna look as good as when you use a video like this with a lot of depth. And that's because, of course, Depth Map analyzes and uses the depth in your video, in the image. Okay, and then when you have your video, drop it on the timeline and duplicate it. And first we're gonna use the top video. So select the top video and make the other one invisible, just by clicking on this icon here. And then select the top video clip and go to the color page. You can also do everything in the Fusion page, by the way, but it's just a little bit easier in the color page. Now, the only thing I have to warn you for is that the effect we're gonna create is kinda computer heavy. My computer can't handle it when rendering it real time. So if you also have an older or less powerful computer, just do what I did. Go to the menu here and set the render cache here in the playback menu to user. And you'll be fine. I'll show you later. But if it's still too difficult for your computer, then maybe it's time to buy a new one. Okay, anyway. So we're in the color page now, and we're gonna use Magic Mask to isolate the subject so that in the end result, that pulse can go behind the subject. So Magic Mask, right click in the node area first and add an alpha output. Connect blue with blue here, and this alpha output will make the background disappear once Magic Mask is done. Then set this to better here for the best result, and add a few masking points just by clicking on the person or subject you want to isolate. And right away you'll see the background disappear. That's because of that alpha output. And then once you have a nice mask, make sure you have enough points, but then you can still tweak it with these settings here if you want. But it looks okay like this, I think, so I'm just gonna hit track, and then Resolve will create a mask. And if you don't know how to use Magic Mask, I'll drop a tutorial in the description. Then, when Magic Mask is done, go back to the edit page and you'll see that, your video clip doesn't have a background anymore. Perfect. And now we're gonna work on the bottom video clip. So make it visible. And now obviously you'll see the background again, but that's the background from the bottom video clip. And then make the top video clip invisible. Select the bottom one and go to the color page again. And now we're gonna create that pulse effect. So first, look for the depth map effect here and drop it on the node. And the depth map allows us to make a selection or a mask of a part of the video based on depth. For example, just the foreground or just the background. And by using all these sliders here, you can tweak it, right? But the cool thing is that you can also animate or keyframe that mask. So you can make it go from foreground to background, foreground, background, foreground, background. And how I'm gonna do that is by only using the isolation settings here. So you can use tolerance here to make the mask depth narrower or wider. I'm gonna make it a bit narrower, like that. And then we're gonna use the target depth setting to create that pulse. So set the playhead here at the beginning of the video clip and create a keyframe for target depth. So all you have to do is hit that little diamond here so that it turns red. And then set the target depth all the way to foreground, so to 1. Then move the playhead a bit forward and then set the target depth all the way to background, to 0. And it will automatically create another keyframe. See the red triangle here? That means there's another keyframe. Then move the playhead forward a little bit again and set the target depth back to 1. And just keep doing that over and over until you're at the end of the video clip. And then when you're done and play the video clip, see, your mask will have that pulsating effect. But your video clip won't have that pulsating effect yet. It's just the mask for now. But before I show you how to create that pulsating effect, I also want to mention that I also used some effects from MotionVFX, the sponsor of this video. Not to create that pulse effect, but just to make it look even better, like a cherry on top. So this was the base effect, what I'm showing you how to create right now. And this was my end result. But of course, you can make it look however you want. I used the MMusic Video 2 plugin to fine-tune my effect and to make it look better. But maybe you want something more futuristic, right? Well, then try out the new MNeoVision plugin. I think that will actually work really well with this effect. Create some kind of, I don't know, sci-fi pulse. And the cool thing is that all these effects are super user-friendly, basically drag and drop. So if you're looking for a way to level up your videos, go check out MotionVFX. Effects, animated titles, motion graphics, they have everything. The link is in the description. And of course, thank you so much MotionVFX for supporting my channel. Okay, and now let's create that pulse effect. So we've animated our depth map now, right? And so when we add another node now, we can apply effects to that pulsating depth map selection or mask. It sounds complicated, but it's really not. So all you have to do is connect blue with blue here to the new node so that this node gets the depth map information, right? And also turn off the depth map preview here so you can see the image again. And then, for example, what I did is add a radial blur. So just look for the radial blur and drop it on that second node. And then you can adjust the settings, do whatever you want, make it look however you want. But the thing is, that blur will now be only applied to that pulsating depth map mask. You know what I mean? And what I also did was make it a bit brighter so that that pulse is even more visible, just by increasing the gamma and gain. See here? And it's only applied to the depth map. And if you want to add another effect, just add another node, connect blue with blue, and drop a second effect. Okay, but we're not done yet. Two more things. First, if you go back to the edit page now and make the top track visible again so that our subject isn't blurry anymore and the pulse goes behind the subject. Well, my computer can't play it like that, real time. So what I have to do is pre-render everything. So before I showed you how to set the render cache here to user, right? Well, now when I right click on my video clip with the effects and I select render cache color output, well, it will start rendering all the effects. So you'll see this red line and it will slowly turn blue. And once it's blue, it will play the effects no problem. But then every time you change something to the effect, you have to pre-render it again. So that's the only downside. Okay, and then finally, so we randomly animated that depth map effect, right? From foreground to background, foreground, background, foreground, background. But you're probably also gonna wanna add music. So you want that pulse to pulsate to the beat, right? Now, how do you do that? Well, first add your music and then make the top track invisible so we can work on the depth map again. Go back to the color page and make sure that instead of the scopes, here you have the keyframe window visible. And then here, corrector 1, that is the first node. So where we animated the depth map. So all these little diamonds here are the keyframes we created to make that depth map go from foreground to background, foreground, background, foreground, background, you know? And here you can just move them, put them closer together to make it go faster or farther apart to make it go slower. And of course you can also add some more keyframes if you want, or delete some. But this is where you can play around with the speed and you know how it all pulsates. Okay, and that's basically it. Pretty cool effect, right? But the thing is that, yeah, like I said, you can apply pretty much any effect to that depth map mask. So let me know in the comments if you have some other good ideas of effects that you can apply to the depth map to make something, I don't know, super cool. Okay, thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one.